Hello and welcome to Story on the Spot. My name is Jim Heskett, and going around here, over there, we see Samson, minus the hair. If you notice, his face is completely different, but that's Mr. R.A. McGee coming back into the booth because he had to go grab some caffeine. That is perennial sixth man of the year, Craig A. Hart. And rounding us out, my other podcast is a bestseller. That is Mr. Nick Thacker. And we will be right back after. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. There's something I wanted to point out right here at the top of the show. I had a realization about our show that we are the first and only T-Figs, the thriller fiction improv game show. The first and only thriller fiction improv game show in the entire world. The entire world. Do you know of another one?
Great to be a trailblazer.
Nice. How's everybody doing today? We good?
Good.
Nick, are you messing with us? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
That's what I thought. Thanks.
You like to
Nick's
give Jim a coronary every week, man.
He's
setting us up for later.
Super late just to keep him on edge.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks.
No,
I don't want to get.
That's what I do.
I don't want to get lazy, so I appreciate that. All right.
I'm here for.
This is episode 23 of Story on the Spot, and we have a little bit of housekeeping from last week to attend to first. Last week's winner was not Nick. Sorry, Nick's pointing at himself. Sorry, it was Kevin. You did it.
Most people think we're the same person, though. So can I, accept it on his behalf?
You just want to take it? You want to accept this award?
I'll just go ahead and I'll just take it. Thank you.
All right, give us a speech.
I want to thank my mom. Obviously for everything that she's done. I'd like to thank God because that's what you're supposed to do when you win an award. I'd also like to thank our gracious host. I can't remember his name, but he's Arbiter Jim, I guess. Arbiter is his name. I really appreciate whatever this is. I hope that it earns me a lot of money in the future. I'm sure it will.
Thanks. You also, in addition to the win, you're going to get 1,000 exposure bucks.
Exposure bucks.
Exposure bucks by appearing on this show.
It's my favorite kind of buck.
All right. Hey, if you are watching, here's what you're going to do. I am going to give some story prompts, and each story prompt is a round. Each one of these three guys is going to pitch a story. You, watcher, vote by comment with which one you like the best, and then tune in next week to see who is the winner. And today's bonus word is Donnybrook, which is a noun, a scene of uproar and disorder, or a heated argument. That word again was Donnybrook. If I remember last week, no one could remember Winklepicker, and it turned into all sorts of other words. Okay.
I'll be able to remember this one, though, because this is actually my legal name, Donnybrook.
Hey. Really?
No.
No, you're not. No. Okay. I don't think so. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of did.
I'm just trying to be relevant.
You kind of thought it was his real name.
If you notice at the very beginning of the show, Craig wasn't in his seat. He had to go run to grab an energy drink. So we're going to give Craig a few minutes.
Now, I was trying to come up with that joke.
Time
There
well
was
spent.
about to be a Donnybrook on the show.
I
Craig
always thought it would make a good pen name, Donnybrook.
Donnybrook.
Nice. All right. Today's first story is called Brain Art. You guys ready? Jimmy Sauer of Racine, Washington, takes a walk along the beach on Lake Michigan every morning where he collects sea glass and random stuff because I like to do artwork at home with the stuff that I find. He recently came across a curious package wrapped in aluminum foil, he said. Curiosity got to me, so I popped it open and it looked like a chicken breast, but on closer inspection, he determined it was a brain. The package also contained flowers and paper with what appeared to be Mandarin characters printed on it. All right, contestants, who wants to be the first to pitch us a story based on brain art?
First of all, can we discuss, is he allowed, are Michigan people allowed to say sea glass when they don't live next to a sea? I mean, I think we need to take that from them. people from Michigan tend to latch on to things like that and pretend like they're relevant, and they're just not because they're in Michigan.
Okay, thanks for your feedback, Nick.
That's my story. So whoever is next can try to beat that one. That was my idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go. Let me go. Let me get this out of the way. So I think that we are dealing with a kidnapping. Okay, that took place on Lake Michigan, and it was a small a Chinese family that was kidnapped from their homes because they knew their family owed people to the wrong, a triad gang back in China. And so they were being held for ransom on a houseboat in the middle of Lake Michigan. Well, the mother is descended from a long line of Chinese sorcerers. So she knew that in order to get them out of this, that they were going to have to conjure up some of the ghosts of the demons from China to come and help them. And so what they did was they lured one of the kidnappers in and they killed him, and they took his brain and they put it in the foil packet. And so it's like a spell. It's like a potion, They put the right flowers in the brain, and they did the caricatures on there and everything. They wrapped it all up and they threw it in the water. And after that happened, they waited for a while, and then we had a tsunami of ghosts from China showed up and scared off the rest of the kidnappers, killed them, did what they needed to do, and then delivered the family back safely to their home. So it was a Chinese voodoo type of spell gone not wrong, gone right. So that's what the remnants of that are. So.
Very nice, RA. So Nick or Craig, who wants to tackle?
He does.
All right. Well, having grown up in Michigan,
do you call it Seaglass too? Like a lizard?
No, so
I can't believe you just sat there and let him crap all over your
Yeah, I'm actually gonna separate you two. So
Thank you.
People from Michigan do, man. They just let people crap all over them because they think they're still relevant with things like Seaglass, even though it's just lake glass.
He's just Craig's so polite. That's a true Midwesterner right there, dude. He sat there and let somebody crap all over him. He didn't say anything. That's Midwest hospitality right there.
Well, but is he Midwest or is he Canadian? Because one of those, the little peninsula, you're basically Canadian at that point.
Anywho, so
okay, moving on. Go right ahead, Craig.
No, so what is happening? There is a billionaire who has come up with a plan using kind of like almost like an EMP kind of technology to brainwash most of the people in the world with a single push of a button. Just waves everybody's his sheep and will run around and do his bidding and build his empire for him. However, it turns out that the tinfoil hat people have had it right all along. You put that on your head, you're good. Nothing can penetrate it. You're fine. So this is kind of in relation to, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Donovan's Brain story that has been done a million times. Back in the day, it was a radio drama with Orson Welles and all this stuff. So basically what they've done is transplant their brains out of some of the smartest people and put them in these foil packets to protect them from the impending brainwashing. Because the thing is, they don't know when it's going to happen. So their brightest minds, the people are dying, but they're saving their brains and putting them in these protective packets. So when the time comes, open up, pop it into somebody's head, you're good, and you can go take out the billionaire. Unfortunately, the billionaire got wind of this and destroyed the facility, and now they've got these brains in foil packets floating all over the place. They end up all over the world and in likely places like, say, Colorado or Hawaii, but some places they end up where you wouldn't expect a brain to exist, such as Michigan and whatnot. So, but fortunately, people are coming across these brains, and they're still protected, still viable. So no matter what happens with this brainwashing EMP, there's still hope for the human race.
All right. Thanks, Craig. Craig, my wife is from Michigan, so I'm on your side. I get it.
Well, I'm not there currently, so you can say whatever you want. Okay.
All right, Nick, man of the hour. What do you have for story number one?
Well, we got this is clearly to me just clearly a case. Sorry, there we go. Case of you've got a guy who's on an island in Lake Michigan because those are a thing, and he's kind of set up this weird little chop shop where he actually is experimenting on humans on their bodies specifically. And so what he does is he completely removes all of their insides. So it's just a skeleton and muscles and skin. They're an empty cavity that he can do his experiments upon. And so he found a long time ago that rather than getting in Donnybrook with, somebody who he was trying to, come on, give me the thing. Give me the thing.
You're dead.
You didn't give me the thing. Where's the thing?
What, you want the dun-dun?
I want the secret word. Give me the secret word. I'm not going to continue until I get the secret word. Okay, fine. Yes, I can't even think now because I didn't get the secret word image. Do you not have it? Did you get rid of it?
He gave it to you.
He gave it to me? I totally missed it. Did he really?
It only counts once.
Say Donnybrook over and over and over again. So that's what happened. That's what's going on with it.
Who would have thought that it was Kevin Tumlinson that was the glue that was keeping this show together? Who knew? Kevin's gone for 1 week and everything falls to pieces.
Everything falls apart. No, so here's what he does, man. He has found that instead of capturing people, like just a run-of-the-mill hoodlum, he doesn't even have to leave his island. He simply takes the brains of his victims, wraps them in foil, and he puts in Chinese writing inside there a note that says, "Do not come to this island that is at these coordinates, or I will remove your brain and kill you." And that's what it says. And so he sends it out, and it floats around until it lands on some beach, and some unsuspecting lake glass finder comes by and picks it up and unwraps it and thinks it's a chicken breast because they're an idiot, and they can't read Chinese, and they don't think that maybe they should figure out why the hell there's a brain in a thing. Instead, they just look at the coordinates on there, and they just go right to the island, and he's got more victims. So it's sort of like those people who write the spam emails. They specifically put in typos and misspelled words and things like that, so that they can weed out any smart person from interacting with them because it's a waste of their time. So that's what this guy's done. He's finding people who won't think to go call the cops and won't think to get somebody to translate the Chinese. They just look at the coordinates on there and float out to his little island and go, "Oh, what's over here?" And then he pops their brain out and eats it.
Pops the brain out and eats it. All right. So if you are watching at home, you can vote for your favorite pitch in that round. Just put the contestant's name that you like. And you don't have to be watching live. You can still vote if you're watching on the replay. Now let's move on to story number 2. This is called Living Mask. A commuter boarded a bus between Swinton and Manchester, England, sporting what one fellow passenger thought was a funky mask until it started to move. The face mask turned out to be a live snake wrapped around the man's neck and over his nose and mouth. No one batted an eyelid, one writer said. Transport for Greater Manchester, however, said in a statement that snakeskin, especially when still attached to the snake, is not suitable for masks. So the story is a little bit #topical. Because of snakes, right. Yeah, all over the news. So who would like to be the first to tackle this story about the guy wearing a snake mask on the train?
I'll go again. I don't care.
All right.
I don't care. Let's do this. So I think that the man who's wearing the snakeskin is actually an old Chinese deity. Okay. And he'd been dead for a long time, right? The snake god, Chinese snake god. He'd been dead for a long time. And then all of a sudden, someone on a boat in Lake Michigan summoned him and his people for help. And he's not used to the new world. He got a little bit lost. He ended up in England. And so now he's trying to take a train, or he's trying to take a bus to end up getting where he can go to go save his people who asked for help in Lake Michigan. So this is just a straggler from my last story. He lost his way, the snake god.
Very nice. Nice tying in 2 stories together, R.A. Nick or Craig, who wants to be the meat in the sandwich on this story?
I got nothing. I have no idea.
All right. So this is a particular kind of snake, and sort of like those toads that you lick to get high. Well, this particular snake emits like a scent or a fume that Samson already knows where this is going. Where if you sniff the snake, you get a little buzz off of. But not only that, but it also increases your focus and your IQ for a limited period of time. However, it doesn't last very long, so only a couple of minutes. So it's not like you can at home sniff the snake and then run off and perform some such. I'm gonna have to turn off. Sorry.
Dude, you gotta call this episode "Sniff the Snake."
Yeah, probably. It's going on the list.
Anyway, so it's not like you could just, you're at home, sniff a snake, and then run out and do your dastardly deeds, and then get home before it wears off. No, you've got to go, fast. But the problem is, this guy's old, so he can't just run anywhere and do it. It takes him a long time to get anywhere. So the only solution for him, this master criminal, is because in the past, I should mention, is that he has been a master criminal for many decades, but he's getting old and slowing down, but he can't quite give up his love of the craft. And this being able to sniff the snake, I just said that on purpose, has allowed him to continue this into his twilight years. And so, but as I said, it doesn't last long, so he has to wear it around his face so he can continually get hits of this IQ boosting. You see? Now, the one thing he hasn't quite figured out, and he is trying to use the current crisis, to make it not so obvious. Like, look, I'm wearing a mask, and he's gotten into all kinds of Donnybrooks with people and arguing and carrying on, and because people are approaching him, but he's been able to move past that, and he's slowly beginning to convince people that, hey, a mask is a mask, and if I want to wear a live snake as a mask, then I'm going to. And that has gained him entrance into like banks and sensitive government places where normally you're not going to be able to go in while sniffing a snake. I think people have actually certain rules and regulations specifically targeting that activity, but he's managed to overcome that. And so he's managed to take his master criminalhood into his twilight years, which is something that most people would not be able to accomplish. So I give him props and kudos for pursuing his passion beyond an age where most people wouldn't be able to.
Very nice, Craig. Thank you. All right, Nick. So you said you got nothing before. Have you had a chance to think about it, or do you still got nothing?
I think what we've got here, guys, is a classic case of human centipede situation. So
please continue. I'm excited to hear about this one.
So the snake isn't actually wrapped around the man's mouth. The snake is the man. They are one. There you go. There we go. So this guy is basically working in a lab with his partner who has figured out a way to create a being that is what's the right word? It's whatever, like a bacteria that's I can't remember. They feed off one another, right?
Parasitic.
They feed each other.
Symbiotic.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. They're symbiotic. So he's tried this with all kinds of smaller creatures, and he finally has figured out how to make it work with his. My kid opened the door. Make it work with his with a human, and so of course he tries it on his partner, and he's created a way to put a snake attached mouth to mouth with a human, and have them feed off of each other. I don't even know.
The human snakepede.
This makes total sense. And the problem is they get in a little Donnybrook. In Britain, they might call it a row. And he gets on the bus and decides to go see his mom because his mom can always help with things like this. So that's what happened. Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Nick.
And the end.
Okay. Next up, bonus round. We're going to play Boxers, Briefs, Commando, but it's a little bit different this time. You're going to tell us why your series hero wears boxers or briefs or goes all natural. Bonus points are coming up with a catchphrase as part of your answer, or for talking trash about the other series heroes. Boxer's Brief Commando. It's a bonus round. Who would like to go first?
All right. So Shelby Alexander is a man who likes to be prepared. So what underwear he's wearing depends on what he's planning to do that day. If he's going to be in the middle of a gunfight, he's going to wear briefs for sure, because you want things nice and tidy and tucked in there. When you're running around, jumping over logs, running through the woods in Michigan. That's where it's set.
Looking for sea glass.
Right. I mean, that's the...
As you do. I mean, naturally in Michigan.
Right. I mean, if anybody's familiar with the series, you know, it's like Serenity Submerged, Serenity blah, blah, blah. Well, the next one that I'm writing currently is Serenity Seaglass. So I hope that doesn't turn anybody off. But no, so it depends on the situation he's going to find himself in. And he carries both briefs and boxers with him in case he suddenly finds himself in a thriller-like situation in which he needs to change underwear to accommodate.
How does he know though? Is he like, I feel like today's going to be a thriller-like situation?
No, he carries them with like briefs in one pocket, or whatever he's not wearing is in his pocket. So he's like, I see. Oh my God, I'm in the middle of a gunfight. Just a quick change.
It was just like, hold on, guys, I'll be right back, and then he runs to the bathroom.
I mean, what kind of monster, if you're attacking somebody with a submachine gun, wouldn't have the decency to just hold up a minute so you can change into the proper underwear?
I mean, if you call time.
Absolutely. I don't think there are any dastardly there are any folks quite that dastardly. I don't care who your villain is. They're going to give you time to change your underwear. I think.
Yeah, it's only right. It's only
gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. So, all right. So my the main series hero of mine is a guy named Phil Porter, and just goes by Porter. You know, he's a kind of a troublemaking type of guy who goes around and solves problems and finds missing people and things like that. So he's always into it. He's always into the crap, so to speak. And he learned a long time ago that if he has anything to kind of constrict him, he can't move effectively. Like, he'd rather let it kind of, you know, dangle and jangle than just be caught up underneath him. So he's an all natural guy. He's always gone commando. And his favorite way of looking at it is, if you're packing that thing, you got to let it swing. So that's what Porter does, man. So
very nice. That's worth the point. Nick, what do you think? You can tell us about Harvey Bennett.
So Harvey is is an interesting figure. He is basically the most irrelevant, out of touch person on the planet. He argues that he doesn't care about things like fashion. The truth is, he just doesn't even know where to start. And so he thinks, because he's married now, you know, he's got a kind of reputation to uphold. He thinks that it's cool to wear boxers, even though he doesn't realize that briefs technology has really taken off in the past decade. I mean, obviously, as we all know. And so he is wearing boxers because his dad just used to wear tighty whities, and he thinks that's what old men do. So he's like, well, I'm going to wear boxers because that's cool. And so that's what he's traipsing around in his boxers, and he swears by him. Like curse words and stuff. But right in the middle of fight scenes, it's just ridiculous. He's like, "Damn, these boxers are comfortable."
All right, thank you, Nick.
Pair of trousers I'm wearing there underneath. And anytime he enters a Donnybrook situation, he thanks his boxers, thanks his lucky boxers.
Let us do our last story of the day. This is called Dude. Colin Sullins, who grows cannabis plants outside his home in New Brunswick, Canada, caught a little thief in his garden recently. Sullins found a mouse nibbling on the stems of the plants, then passed out in a pile of leaves. He's missing an ear, so it may be self-medication for his PTSD, but I still think it's time for an intervention, Sullins said. He rehomed the mouse to a cage where he was weaned to just one medium leaf per day. It's been a rough couple of days for our little baked buddy here, and despite a bellyache and a wicked bad case of munchies, I think he'll make a full recovery, Sullins wrote on Facebook. Who wants to be the first to pitch us a story about the pot-eating mouse?
This is the most Canadian way to handle this situation, too, I think.
Just nurse him back to health?
Just, yeah. You can give him free weed. I mean, come on. The guy's stealing weed.
So, R.A., Craig, Nick, it could be any of you, really. Any of you could be the first to go.
It can't be any of us.
I think
I can promise you that. It can't be me.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'll just make something up here on the spot, as that's what we do. This mouse is a science experiment, and the bad guy has created the science experiment to do something bad, and the good guy is trying to stop the bad guy from doing the bad thing with the science experiment. That's
Okay.
that's the whole thing. So,
Nice, well done.
like
It
that.
had a beginning, middle, and end.
It did. Yeah, did you catch that? It kind of had some structure there. A little arc. Also, the mouse falls in love toward the end.
Lives happily ever after. He moves to a dispensary in Washington. And is anybody else going to go? Or are we just going to cut it short?
No, I got this. I got this.
All right, what do you got?
I'll go. All right, so I think that what's happening is, okay, so I think that our guy here grew up, or I shouldn't say grew up. He, what do you do when you go over to after college? You go like an exchange student type of thing.
Here?
Yeah,
Donnie
something
Brooking?
like that. Yeah, he's definitely Donnie Brooking. Well, Donnie Brooking this this little mouse, but no, he spent some time over in Asia. And he's very, very passionate about the Asian culture over there. And so I don't know if you guys are familiar with I'm gonna butcher the way I'm pronouncing this. Kopi Luwak. Do you guys know what that is? I've never heard it said. I've only ever read it. It's this very expensive coffee from Asia.
Oh,
and
the
what
mouse
makes
poop coffee or the monkey poop coffee?
Yeah, it's like a bird eats the coffee beans and poops it out. And so that's like apparently a draw. All right. I don't understand who would want coffee, but whatever, man. I'm not here to judge, man. I'm a live and let live kind of guy. Well, I think that our guy here is not telling the truth about how he discovered the mouse. I think that when he was in Asia, he loved the Kopi Luwak coffee so much that he thought, well, what if I get a friendly mouse to eat some of this weed and then poop it out, and then I can collect it from the poop and I can smoke it, and it has to be more aged, it has to be stronger hitting, the THC content's got to be better. So I think that our friendly Canadian is just emulating what he saw from the Kopi Luwak poop coffee from Asia, and that's what this really is that him trying to make his strain stronger through the digestion process of a little rodent. So,
very nice. Thanks, R.A. All right. So, Nick, Craig, anybody?
Wait, I already went.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
It was a great Nick. It was, yeah. I totally
you.
remember.
real
I'm
fast.
here for the affirmation. I appreciate that. That's why I show up to this thing.
So Colin sees the end of the world coming, right? But he's a businessman, and he's learned during his years of cannibalism that eating large amounts of pot makes things taste better. And so he's like, you know what? End of the world's coming along. We're going to be eating mice, rats, insects. So what he's trying to do is create the perfectly flavored, or that imparts flavor, weed, because he feels that's going to be a wide supply at the end of the world, so that he can actually feed these mice and then, provide these to needy people at the end of the world in the apocalypse, so that there's tasty rodents for everybody to eat.
Mice for needy people. I can just see the banner now. It's like outside the Salvation Army.
He's gonna have a little peanut cart, a hot dog cart in New York, and rodents.
Get a rodent
like,
wit out.
Yeah.
Rodents on a
funny.
stick. Oh my god!
Like an Oliver Twist. More rodents, please.
Please, sir, can I have another mouse?
Story on the spot.live is almost as cool as this guy. Look at those eyebrows.
Dang.
They're pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Those
Stellar.
lashes, dude.
Okay, everyone. Hey, thanks for watching. Oh, and if you were wondering last week what RA was about to say before I hit the end broadcast button, and then he's like, wait, and it's like half second lapse. So it was last week was my birthday, and that's what RA was going to say.
Yes.
That's
Thank you for having a birthday, Arbiter Jim, and pulling this whole show together. We appreciate it, even if the other guy that way doesn't say it. That one.
I know what you mean. He's not even looking. He is looking down. He doesn't even care that you're talking about him. So hey, over here is Craig A. Hart. Down there is R.A. McGee. Down there is Nick Thacker. If you go all the way down to storyonthespot.live, you will find all of our websites as well as all the past episodes of the show. You can get it in podcast form, watch it on Facebook or YouTube. You can also, we're working on a straight intravenous drip, but there are some FDA regulatory things we're trying to work out before that's going to be possible. But we're working on it. Story on the Spot Intravenous 2021. We're working on it. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.